Good morning, superstars. How are you this morning? Morena. It's a wonderful day to be alive. Isn't it? Isn't it a wonderful day? Kia ora, Lisa. How are you?
Kia ora, honey. I am feeling great.
Oh, I was just finding my stream on the phone and then I started speaking to myself. So it was weird. Sorry, here we are.
You thought you were just overtired for a second there, didn't you?
Look, it gets to that overtired stage where it just becomes a whole lot of fun and silly, doesn't it? How are you doing, crew? Say hello in the comments. Lovely to see some of you guys. Kia ora, Karen and Alicia. Kia ora, my friend. Morning, Lisa. Morning, Joanne. Lovely to see you. So many of our beautiful friends joining us again. Morning, Jolene, Natalie, Rebecca. So good to see everyone here today for day 3, our final day of Play to Heal the World. Wow, it has been an incredible, I'd say 48 hours. And I've just read so much feedback, people saying this is just exactly what they needed. What a way to rejuvenate and reignite some of that beauty within. How have you found it, Lisa?
I found it a complete love fest. I just love it. I mean, the difference between going to what we all once knew as a conference and coming to an online festival is when you're in a conference, you can't get this feedback all day long. And so everything's instant. We're seeing how much everybody loves it, and they're all seeing each other, how everybody else is feeling about it. And so there's a lot more contagious connection through this kind of format. I love it.
That's such an interesting point. Yeah, it feels like the distance between everyone is kind of just taken away, and there's just this instant connection that we're able to make. Yes, we can't feel that close physical closeness, but in some sense, you know, it is energetically hugely still here.
Totally. I love all the photographs that people have put up and still putting up this morning. And it was great to see all the color. And you don't always see that at conferences either. So I think that this festival of fun that we're having while we're doing the deepest learning, so good.
Lovely. Well, I did see some wonderful outfits. So I'm going to see if I can, in the back end, just quickly see if I can find some of them, bring them onto the screen, maybe give away some more beautiful books. We've had, here we go. Let me share my screen.
I see Katie Laws saying, and probably people don't feel as shy online either. And I think that's true, Katie. Completely agree.
So, yeah, let's look at some. This is actually, Nicole, your outfit just captured me. You and your daughter's outfit captured me this morning. How beautiful. Absolutely love what you guys are wearing. And I'm just going to imagine that we're all in the room together, dancing along, spreading our wings. So wonderful. Thank you. You know, this really actually does help me connect with everyone. I don't know if you're the same, but just the photos, when people put photos of themselves, let's look, it's me in the background. It's just so wonderful. That was so much fun seeing you, Casey, at in Tom's dance off. So what a hat, Alex. That's looking so good. That shirt as well, on point. Absolutely on point. So good. So I think we'll give a couple of books away. Alex, I'm going to give the book away to you. This is, I'll share with you the book that I'm giving away this morning, but looking great. And I think, Nicole, you deserve a book as well. Absolutely beautiful. You guys are looking fabulous. Before we draw a virtue card for today, I'll just share with you a couple of things. One of our festival attendees, I believe, has written a book called What If? Play Inspired by Nature, Natural Loose Parts Inspirational Book. And they have given away, they've provided a copy for us, which just to give away. So we're going to give that away to you guys this morning, to Nicole and Alex. Looks really beautiful, written by Amy and Stacy. And that it just, I just looking at the quality of the photographs and everything, it just looks amazing. So if you want that book, it's called What If? Play Inspired by Nature. I'm sure if you Google it, or if you go to inquisitivebynature.co.nz, you can have a look at their stuff. Lots of really cool things on there as well. So beautiful.
Oh, cool.
That's all that. So this morning, let's start the day. We've had thankfulness, and we've had zeal. And so what is in store for us today with our virtue cards?
Let's have a little look. Spread them all out and see which one chooses us. Okay. Let's see them out.
Let's see.
Oh, interesting. Because it's purity. Purity is living in a state of physical and spiritual health. We experience well-being by keeping our bodies and living spaces clean and fresh. Purification is a process. I'd say that some people are thinking about purification as they've been going through this experience of the festival. We free ourselves day by day from unwanted influences and addictive desires. We let go of what no longer fits our lives. We replace negativity with virtues practice. We clean up our mistakes. We choose responsibility instead of guilt. Oh, yes. Like a mirror kept free of dust, we purify our intentions. Purity gives us a clear conscience and a peaceful soul. Purity frees us to be who we are meant to be. Goosebumps. The quote on the back comes from the Zoroastrian teachings. For any human being, the purification of character is done thus, with good thoughts, good words, and good deeds. The practice of purity looks like this. I keep my body clean and my space orderly. I purify my life of negativity. I replace unwanted habits by cultivating virtues. I take responsibility for clearing up my mistakes. I act from pure intentions. I live as I truly choose to live. I'm thankful for the gift of purity because it gives me a fresh start.
Wow. What a intention for the final day of a festival like this. We have been absolutely gone through a journey which has regained our focus, replenished our internal wellsprings, and so yeah, that connects.
I've used these cards for a really long time, Rick, and if I'm sitting with a room full of people and do what's called a virtues pick, where you go around, it's not uncommon for people to immediately start crying when they read their card, because the right card always chooses them. And I can tell you that if you look at the 3 cards that we drew for this festival, there is a connection between them and a direction for all of us to take when we add it to all of the incredible magic that's been shared. So I'm going to put this card up like I've put the card up with others and on the other days, and people can print them or keep them, whatever they like. And maybe if they've made any notes or they just want to put them up on their office, their workspace wall, I think that'd be a brilliant thing to do.
Oh, that sounds amazing. Thank you so much, Lisa. I'm also want to let you know there is a real gift for everyone in your online learning platform that I'll share with us quickly now. See if I can find that. The beautiful friends, our beautiful friends from Child Space, Tony and Robin Christie, have gifted us 2 of their amazing workshops that they do. One is the Introduction to Zentangle, which is a meditative drawing practice that Tony she's just incredible. You go look at that. And another one is Dr. Bob and Dr. Bob's Magic with Bubbles. And it's just so cool. So she's given us a little message that we can play. Let's see if I can quickly find that. I'm going to try and share that with you. Hopefully that works. So one moment. There you go. Actually, I'll just take it off because I didn't click share audio. How do I do that? Maybe it will. Let me know if the audio doesn't come through, but I'm just going to quickly press play.
Kia ora te kaupapa whānau. We're really excited to be part of the festival this year, and we've put this video together specifically for you from our online library at Child Space at your place. If you want more information or more videos, then just visit us at childspace.nz. So for today, we've spliced together 2 things. One is Zentangle, a meditative art form, a mindful drawing process, which is just a basic introduction. And I hope you enjoy it. I hope you become as addicted as I am. The other one is a video from Dr. Bob, all about bubbles, all the things he knows about bubbles. So really enjoy these 2 practical, hands-on parts of your festival.
So that workshop, it's an hour, 2 workshops. So cool. What a gift. So thank you from our friends at Child Space. They've also got a whole lot of videos in their video library that you can go sign up for at childspace.co.nz, I think. Go check them out. Go check it out in your learning platform. So much goodness. I looked at the incredible depth of webinars now in every single person's online learning platform. It's just incredible. It's basically enough for a year to keep you going. So that's the other thing about a virtual online conference, is that you may have missed, at a normal festival, you go and you have to choose one elective and you miss out on the 70 others. But the beauty is that this is recorded and you can watch it anytime. So yeah, well, we've got this morning, it's almost time. It's almost time for what I hear is going to be a breaking news report, breaking news from around the globe with our incredible global news reporters, Anya and Kimberly. So really excited about that. That's going to start in a couple of minutes. So go grab a drink if you need to, get a notebook. And if there are others who are still trying to find the stream, which this has been a favorite thing to do for people, where's the stream? I can't find it. Can someone please link me in? Maybe just tag them, get them all here. And so you guys are just absolutely fabulous. So thank you, Lise, for joining us this morning.
Pleasure.
Stay on this stream. We'll have Anya and Kimberly starting really soon. Ka kite, everybody.
Aotearoa, New Zealand and the world. This is the morning news with Anya, brought to you from our new studio here in the beautiful hamlet of Waikawa Beach. We have just received breaking news. This morning, here at the beach, a young specimen of the human race was spotted in an act of play. As free-range childhood has been declared endangered, this sighting has brought new hope around the globe. Unfortunately, upon approaching the unsuspecting youngster, an overly zealous helicopter adult outfitted with worksheets, laptop, and a clock grabbed the youngster and disappeared into one of the gated communities surrounding the beach. In our search to find out if this indeed could be the last remaining free-range child, we contacted the greatest play advocate our country has. I'm honored to welcome to the show, from her tiny Te Awa studio in the beautiful Hawke's Bay, the passionate protector of play, Kimberly Crisp. Good morning, Kimberly. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you. And good morning to you too, Anya.
I understand you're currently in the incredible virtual company of some great play advocates. And I've heard that the news has reached you and your colleagues. You've been convening at the Play to Heal the World festival. Now, this is an incredible shift. This is an incredible sighting we've witnessed here. A child barefoot on the beach with muddy hands and pockets full of shells, running, jumping, digging. It's incredible. What's going on, Kimberly? Do you believe there is still hope we can save the free-range child?
Yes. Yes, I do. Absolutely, I do. We are living in extremely challenging times. We're experiencing dramatic and far-reaching changes. Seriously, none of us would ever be prepared for this when we did our training at university. Right now, play is under siege, more so now than ever before. Now, I recognize that although right now the outer world is changing, and it's changing fast, but the child's inner world, the biological musts, they don't change. Children need to play. It is a universal birthright. It is an absolute biological imperative. Now, I was just going to say to you, Anya, if you think even just 2 years ago, in 2019, the difference with our world then and our world now. Seriously, we couldn't have even dreamed it, although some people did. But it feels in a lot of ways a little bit like a nightmare at times. Now, we have a very different picture, but some of our challenges are indeed still the same. In 2019, I recall as a sector, we're looking at the things that were putting children's play under siege then. And, you know, I said to my 90-year-old dear friend who's in our bubble, hence my studio, her internet's better. I said, Helen, what do you believe is one of the things right now that's putting our children's play under siege? She said, without thought, gadgets. And I thought, exactly. Now, it's true. We are in a phenomenon where children are more connected to the plug than to nature. Technology like this, fabulous. But like our imagination, technology television can either inspire ourselves to live or terrify ourselves to death. Now, some people can watch the news and they can feel hopeful, and yet others can feel woeful. Our environments. Now, for many years, I remember a mum at the Nest, and she did research about this, about our space. Because if we look at it, our minimum on everything, our Ministry of Education, minimum on everything, says that the space that children need, I won't say deserve because that's not correct. If we compare that with what an organic chicken legislation is in New Zealand, the chicken has more rights than the child to space. Now, in 2 years, that hasn't changed. But of course, there's other things that's radically changed. What hasn't changed is that whether it was 2019 or 1909, children still need the same things. They need play time, play space, play things, and play mates. The outer world is rapidly changing, but their inner world stays the same. Children need play like a dolphin needs water. Children have been geniusly and genetically encoded to play. Play, we know, is a biological imperative. It is universal, and it's a human's birthright. Play is the vehicle for making sense of the changing world. Play is therapy. Play is a child's work. Play is utterly intelligence unfolding. And I'm going to share with you some stunning, if I've got time, beautiful stories. And so you know, maybe as a reporter can share it with other news people about children playing. We all need play. Every living thing, but Penny would say, except snakes, it's a no-brainer. You know, hence get the pun, snake, no-brainer. We all need play, every living thing. But a snake is a reptilian. So they live in that fight-flight. That is not conducive for rich, authentic, sustained play. To play is to know we are alive. For children to play freely and to play creatively, imaginatively, riskfully, and wildfully, they need to feel safe. They need to feel connected, and they need to feel loved. We need to put our energy into both the seen and the unseen. We know that the relationship is all a matter of life to the child, and it is only when the child is emotionally satisfied that they engage in this rich, authentic play that you spotted on the beach. Now, that was a quote from Dr. Emmy Pickler about the emotionally satisfied child and the relationship is all. Robin Youngson yesterday affirmed the importance of the relationship. Children learn who they are, who we are, through the quality of relationship. What we bring through the energetic quality of our consciousness is what children download. 4 billion bits per second. Imagine that. Imagine that. It's inconceivable. We don't even have the ability to download 4 billion bits per second. Now, Dr. Emmy Pickler's wise words, what she said was, when working with young children, it requires a shift in our consciousness. Now, we heard about that yesterday. Consciousness, not just our intellect, but our heart and our gut. The gut, the GPS of our soul. The thing we often cut off because the head is telling us stories. It's on its own track. So just a very little short story I'd like to share with you, Anya, and whoever could be listening, is I've received some really beautiful, beautiful stories from our Nest parents. And what has amazed myself and our Nest unit is that the children right now, in all of their little homes, are out playing life. They are working through the changing world through their play. I received 3 days ago a little photo of one of the girls, and she had all her little teddies all around her. She was at the table, which was a little stump of wood, and she had all her little teddies on stumps of wood. In the middle, she had like little nature's gifts, and she was recreating our nest morning tea ritual. She was saying to her teddies, "Oh, I know it can be hard waiting, can't it? But there's another 7 at this table. What would you like on your cracker?" Now, for this child, she chose in her play to recreate the ritual. The ritual is the anchor, what grounds and secures and hinges children when they're feeling a little unsafe. Another little photo I got was another little boy, and he was outside in his little forest doing his song. Another one was another little a little girl, and she was recreating our story time to her teddies. Now, play is indeed the bubble that children need to be in. Play is where they work out what's going on. We have got to protect and be fierce advocates for this.
That story certainly illustrates the power of children playing in a changing world, Kimberly. But let me ask you another question. You have identified several key areas and key threats regarding play. Would you say there is any underlying cause creating these threats, and what would that be?
Yes, good question. So much of everything comes down to how we are with ourselves. We teach exactly who we are. So the stressed teacher exudes stress. The fearful teacher, parent, educator, leader exudes fear. The peaceful and grounded teacher, parent, educator exudes peace. I always love the words of Rudolf Steiner, and it's not just, no, there's two quotes here. One is Emmy Pickler. It is not enough. I've got so many quotes spinning in my mind.
It's not enough to say you love them, show them. That quote, is that the one you're looking for?
No, it's the one, that one popped into my heart as well. It's the one about, it's not just about what we do, but who we are. And it's not just about technique, but how I and we are with ourselves. Now, in a changing world, we've got both external forces and internal forces. So the things that's impacting us and the things that's going on within ourselves. And at the moment, so much of these external and internal forces is driven by one constant thing: change. Now, Anya, how comfortable are you with change? How comfortable am I with change? Now, we know that for children, change is something that they will bring within their own play when they're very secure in their knowing. When the knowing is shaken, they have a sense of disequilibrium. Now, we know that for ourselves. I mean, shivers, we don't know what, someone said, is it Monday, one day, yesterday? Even the days of the week we're being thrown by. Our personal rhythms and rituals. When we feel a little unbalanced, it impacts our ability to flow. So I believe that it's change is definitely a big influence in either, not many people. I mean, some people love it, don't get me wrong, but for children, it really does give them a bit of stress and a bit of anxiety, as it does with adults. So if we think about it at the moment, a lot of teachers and teams are going back today, level 3. There's a lot of unanswered questions. There's a lot of things that people are worried about. And of course, and it's natural, but this impacts who and how we are. Hugely impacts. And I've got some very good strategies and support for all of us, you know, as the adults, as the anchor, as the builder of relationship, as the creator of environments to support such a changing world. Now, it was interesting, but yesterday, Hennemore said, we are not designed for this chronic stress constantly. And she said, teachers, and I would imagine nurses, you know, we're both in care positions. What are we experiencing? Compassion fatigue. I really liked that word because it described when our heart feels sort of empty and we feel exhausted. And I use this analogy a lot, that if we were potters, our hands are the tool of our trade. So we need strong, good hands. Nurses, educators, teachers, carers, the tool of our trade is our heart. And when we're suffering compassion fatigue, it has an impact on the ability to hold, hinge, and ground our play experiences. So we're all faced with a lot of overwhelming feelings. And what's happening at the moment is that there's a lot of fear. And Atmos, F-E-A-R. You know, if you want to, sometimes all it takes is a Facebook post, a news. I read something this morning about a little alpaca in London. I was devastated, you know, and I thought, oh, I want to put something on that makes me feel great. Not, you know what I'm saying? So at the moment, we are faced with choices, and these choices, they may restrict our freedom, our voices, and our actions. The news stories frame our world. Like the child, we are the only ones in this to find our balance. The nest is my playground, my hatching ground, where I gather stories from children's natural unfolding. It inspires me, and then I can share the gifts that I see through play. And let me tell you, nothing excites us more than we sit back and we see children entering the bubble of self-chosen imaginative play. Now, I want to share a little story with you that happened 2 weeks ago. And at the time, I didn't process this. And I'm sharing it with you because for me, this was helping me assimilate some of the world changes. So it was a Friday afternoon. And I've got to be honest with you, our children are really low maintenance. And what I mean by that is they're loved up, so they play up. And I mean play up in the best possible sense. They play contentedly, authentically, creatively, riskfully, and wildfully. So this particular afternoon, they'd used all the sheets for making huts. And we had the most, very elaborate hut forts. And after lunch, all of a sudden, one of them, who I'm assuming has a bit of an urge for, enclosure and hiding and burying, put a sheet over his whole body. And suddenly, he was a ghost. Well, probably 10 minutes later, we had probably 10 ghosts. So a group of about 10 children were covered with sheets from head to toe. Now, this play lasted, I would say, a good till probably an hour and a half, 2 hours. But what I observed was unbalanced, dysregulated. I heard and saw conflict, and I was like, this isn't like our nest children. What's going on? I thought, oh, well, Friday, tired, maybe they had a bit much in their lunchbox. I don't know. I had all different reasons. On Saturday, when I was just grounded enough to start thinking, suddenly it dawned on me. These children were masked by the sheet. These children were playing, but they were unable to see facial cues. Now, this isn't adult child, this is child. So the children had an afternoon where normally they would be checking in, they'd be looking at their eyes, they would be noticing that their mouth changed, that they were frowning, they looked a bit upset. And it really spoke to me about the power of how social and emotional literacy, resilience, grit, fortitude develops in self-chosen play. Now, we're never there as the referee. Children manage conflict themselves. Of course, we are there to facilitate and to bring social and emotional coaching. But it's extremely difficult when you take away the expressions. So for me, I thought, wow, I don't think 2 years ago I would have even thought about that. But what happened is they were unable to be in communication, and their emotions and emotionally and socially, there was a sense of they were masked. So think about it. Think of a dog. When dogs meet and their tails go, you can tell by the tail, you read the cue. Oh, yes, that dog's a bit dominant, and that dog's pretty excited. If it's like my dog, he wants to play, huge play drive. But when there isn't a tail, it's very difficult for the dogs to be able to read cues. And worst case scenario, the dogs can attack and fight. This is exactly, there was no attacking and fighting, but it was a very dysregulated afternoon because the children were not able to, in their play, see. So that was just, for me, it made me realize that as teachers, we need to be challenging, and we need to be creative, and we need to be critical thinkers. And I thought, well, how does, where did I get my mind to be such a critical, out of the square thinker? Because I'm so out of the square sometimes that I probably need to come back in the square. And I thought it all develops in play. Joseph Chilton Pearce talks about play as intelligence unfolding. Bill Plotkin says that this world and the world's survival hinges on the ability for children to be imaginative. While children are in their bubble of play, while they are thinking and imagining and creating, their great thinking brain, the neocortex, is being stretched like the child on the beach. That sense of, if you don't use it, you lose it. Right now, this world desperately needs critical and creative thinkers. This world needs people who are going to have courageous conversations and not be silenced by a narrative. We need to be able to create our own story, and this is what happens in play. Children are developing exactly what they need to be a human being that is going to be able to look at life through a thoughtful thinking lens, not just robotic.
Yes, Kimberly, there's always change. And you mentioned change as an underlying force in the threat to children's play. But can you explain a little bit more how that impacts both the adults and the children?
Yeah, I do. I'm quite excited about this. About, again, 2019, Leanne and I did a pop-up tour around well-being. Now, I actually think, in a very strange way, it was 2 years too soon. Yes, it was great, but we looked at change through the lens of what researchers is calling it the age of VUCA. And now when I look at this again, it makes so much more sense. So I want to share really succinctly what this age of VUCA is relevant to in terms of the teacher, the adult, the parent, and the child. So VUCA is not my word, it's theirs. And it stands for, right now, our change is volatile. Feel that. Right now, the change is volatile. We're going through change that is uncertain. The change right now is C, complex. You know, you can feel that, can't you? Volatile, uncertain, complex, and it's ambiguous. So what these researchers said was, we always have change. There's times, usually, that it can be like, and I'm in my words, on steroids. And right now, this age of change is exactly that. So if I put some different words with that, volatile, for the adult, that's a feeling of it being very explosive, very tense. Now, I know at the moment that is my father once said to me, Kimberly, when you go out for dinner, do not discuss politics and religion. Well, I'm going to add into that now. Now we don't discuss politics, religion, or the pandemic, because people have a right to choose what they choose. And I don't know about any of you out there, but there's been some explosive arguments, and all of that takes us from the heart of love. I love what Rumi says. We are all light, but different lamps. And fear takes us away from the light. So we've got volatile. It's a sense of explosiveness and tension. You know, families are having divisions. People are, it goes on and on. Uncertain. Feel that sense of unsure. Everything's up in the air. Oh, you get that, right? Up in the air. Is it going to be today we come down? Is it going to be tomorrow? We'll wait for the 1 o'clock. Oh, no, it's the 3 o'clock. Everything's up in the air. Feel that for a child. Imagine 4 billion bits per second. We can do a favor. Turn off the television. Turn off the news. You know, because it can be just this absolute thing that we drown in drama. We need to keep our immune system strong, you know, nourished, C, complex, intricate, convoluted. You know, it's not very clear or simple, and ambiguous. Things are questionable, not straightforward, quite puzzling. So you can sense that this age of VUCA, for a child, let's see what a child feels, that what the child needs, the child through an explosive tense change is feeling unstable. What do they need? Groundedness and a sense of balance. As Emmy Pickler said, the child is the only one that can find their balance. Now that, I believe, is beyond physical. It's emotional balance. As the adult, we are downloaded. We are the only ones that can find our balance. Uncertain, for the child, they're feeling unsure. Now, unsure puts them in the reptilian brain, like the snake, no play, fight or flight. They need same. They need predictable. Complex. The feeling for the child is confusion. They're confused. What do they need? Simplicity, safety. They need same. And ambiguous. For the child, how does that feel? Not clear, very uncertain. Children are held by clarity, by cohesiveness. So can you see that this whole age of VUCA, the change of VUCA, is affecting and impacting children's higher order thinking? It's impacting their problem solving. It's impacting their ability to be emotionally satisfied. So as the adults, let's think about what we can do. How can we support children to feel stable, secure, safe, predictable, and held, so that the atmosphere they're downloading is one of safety, is one of security, is one of they've got my back. We all need someone in life that says, I've got your back. I've got some very beautiful friends. This morning, a beautiful friend, Beverly from Christchurch, little red heart comes popping in. You know, I can just feel her little. And then my friend Donna, same thing. That sense of, you know, they've got your back. And I love that. And that's what children need. Champions who have their back, that support their heart, that hold their hand and say, we've got this. We've got this. So that is the
I can
age of
see. Pardon?
it's the
I
age
can
of
see
wisdom.
how. Yeah, I can see how that clearly links to the child's state on the quality of their play. So, what is the antidote to VUCA? Or maybe should I say, what's the vaccine for VUCA?
Yeah. Okay, so how can we, as the adults, support children? How can we protect and champion their play in this changing world? Now, look, you know, we've got it at a lot of levels. Let's think of even paper. Right now, the Ministry of Education era, it's like a paper war. You know, we've got to be play and people over paper. We have to be moral enough not to comply. We have to speak out, be courageous. The world ends the day we choose to be silent around the things that matter. Children matter. Their play matters. So as a teacher, let's think about one of the things. I'm going to use an example of something that, I mean, I trained years and years ago, but it was, you know, Vygotsky. So many students, so many, you know, people still have this sense of the ZPD, the zone of proximal development. Let's look at that. Now, what I learned was that the child was unable to do something unless the adult was able to support them to do it. So, you know, in my younger days, I would sit next to the child with the puzzle. I was unable to sit on my hands, and I pretty much put the puzzle bit in. So the child had the puzzle finished. Did the child do it? No. So in this day and age, we need them to feel empowered. So let's flip ZPD, Z. When they're playing Z, zip our lips. P, pause and ponder. D, do not disturb, but delight. Emmy Pickler talked about observation as a whole different atmosphere, that we were attentive and alongside, that we were present in an entirely different way. So children need adults that don't interfere. Let's look at that word, interfere. Into fear. I jump into fear. And that's because I think, oh, someone's watching me. Perhaps I better do a bit more, extend a bit more, ask a question. I love the work of Teacher Tom. Love it. He says, don't presume you know what children are learning. You've got no clue what they're learning when they're playing. Just delight that they're playing. They are building a body of knowledge, seeing, feeling, hearing, and dancing with information. So we can, as teachers, jump into being, you know, like, oh, we better do a little, teacher tangents, artificial activity. Breathe, trust, and allow that while children are playing in that sacred bubble of play, it doesn't need to be popped. Protect that and know that they're in the business of working through the challenges in a changing world. I always ask myself, whose business is it? The play is a child's business. So what's our business? Our business is in relationship building. Our business is in rituals, rhythm, care. Our business is in the environment. We need to put care in the relationship, care in the rituals, care in the environment. And then we can think we've done our business and let children get to the business of playing. While children are playing, they are, in a sense, you imagine 5 children, all different lives. So all of their lives are enriched with a banquet of life, enriched or not. Not all children are in an enriched life. Some a poverty situation. So play, so while children are playing, they're pulling down from the vitamins and minerals that have sustained them in their rich life. So children are cross-pollinating. Children are out playing. And you know, the other day, it was incredible. We were observing children. One child has just moved here from, well, a while ago, from Bali. They had to leave their little dog they saved. While they were at the nest, she stayed till 6, they heard that their precious, precious dog had died. Now, over the next 3 days, this wee girl outplayed the funeral and the death and the ritual of her dog dying. Other children's experience on death and grief was very different. Now, this girl, her mum is a grief counsellor. Her mum is an expert in supporting people through death, dying, and afterwards. Now, you can imagine this little girl has an extremely healthy and rich relationship with end-of-life experiences. She created the most beautiful, she used like a little stick that was like the dog, and she put flowers all around. She had the children, she washed the dog to see. Look, it was poetry in motion. Now, you imagine if we thought and put our teacher hat on what we should perhaps do. Sometimes, of course, we need to read, we need to talk. But when they're out playing what has made an impression, we must allow the expression. She was healing through play therapy. So in a changing world with things moving so fast, it is our gift that we can give the children is to be very intentional about our presence, intentional about who and how we are, intentional about our environments. So we observe more, we do less. And when we see children in that little bubble, we can, with awe and delight, observe. We can actually breathe. And we can be joyful that they are entering the timeless. Play is the gift that supports adults and children to enter another reality. Right now, a lot of us, I don't know about you, Anya, if you've got older children, but they kind of, they want to literally go to another reality. Now, if we can enrich play now, they may not need other substances later to go to another reality. I mean, look, that's just one thing. There's many things people can do. But play is where our children now can build critical thinking. They can build fortitude, resilience, people literacy, eco-literacy, and they can develop that muscle, that stretching, and they can challenge the status quo. They can say, I am, I can. They will disconnect to reconnect. They'll plug to earth. Our role, open the doors. As Penny said yesterday, one of the things we can do is open the doors. Be kissed by spring today. Be in awe of the droplets on the leaves. Watch the sparrows, the finches, the wax-eyes, and the tuis. Let the orchestra of nature be a balm to our souls. In a changing world, in stress and in fear, nature is my church. Just checking so what if I was going to ABCD it, we need to be advocates. We need to believe and give children their birthright. We need to be champions. We need to be courageous. We need to do what we can. And in all of that, be mindful of our emotional regulation. And I think it was either Tash, Lisa, or Penny at A Sacred Urge to Play said, are you worthy of imitation? Is your team worthy of imitation? It's not to say we won't be fearful. Of course we are. Be honest with your feelings. But let's look at how we can haven, wrap, support, and love children so that they can enter that timeless, imaginative, creative bubble of play that is the foundation for a spiritual belief in life. When you imagine the stick is a wand, it's believing in something you cannot see. If you have any type of spiritual belief, it is believing in something you cannot see. Right now, I believe that it is the things we cannot see that brings us strength. And we need to be together and be the change we want to see in the world.
So, Kimberly, there really is hope for a free-range childhood. And there's a clarion call or a trumpet call to fiercely protect play in this changing world. So on a personal note, why has this become so important for you?
That is such a good question. Look, I would love to have many interviews with you around this, Anya. But I think when it comes down to it, we're not in a job. We are in a calling. And the world needs adults who come alive. I read something by Howard Truman, and it says, don't ask yourself what the world needs. Ask yourself, what makes me come alive? Then go do that. The world needs people who are alive. And I know that we come alive in play. Children come alive in play. Children learn most from a teacher who is alive. And something I would love to just read, because it puts all of this into quite an amazing context, is that the true purpose of education has been and is trying to be hijacked. The political worldview, spin doctoring, says education is about getting the best job, a sellout of self, to serving the economy, the machine. Where is, may the beauty of what you and I love be what you do? What should education be? Enabling children to grow imagination, critical thinking skills, autonomy, compassion, empathy, all of these skills and attributes needed to be a passionate, alive, contributing member of society that pursues the dream of true democracy. So you can see that this is why I am such an advocate for play, because I know it is the apprenticeship, the foundation for life. It's not just about getting ready for school. School is, bricks and mortar. It's wood, or it's a building. School is as good as the teachers and the philosophy. And I believe now, like nothing before, as one of my colleagues at this festival, is that we have a chance to jump on the same water. We've been given a glimmer of hope, a torch, a beacon of hope that says right now, let's join together. Let's see the light and let's champion for children's play.
Let the children play. It's as simple as that. Be a champion for children's play. Thank you, Kimberly. This brings us to the end of today's news show. We will be back next year with an update on the state of VUCA and the free-range child.
And outside is the most bestest play ever because me and my friends make awesome creations.
Wow, 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 wow. You ladies have just delivered, I was going to say the final knockout blow, but, you know, trying to find the analogy, the knockout to all our hopelessness and our blockages that's living in us. Thank you so much. That has just been inspirational. Anya, Kimberly, thinking outside the box and just blessing us with your absolute creativity, your passion, your inspiration. So so much gratitude for what you guys have just done. Thank you so much. Okay, team, we have got some workshops starting at 11 a.m. Your Zoom links are found under guides in the Facebook group or in your learning platform. So have an amazing morning at your workshops. We're back here this afternoon. So we don't have Zoom connections at 1. You're just free to go and enjoy a free range play. Go for a walk. Go and experience the beauty of nature if you can, if you're fortunate enough to live close at this time. And then we're back here at 2:30 for our final keynote with myself and the festival closing. So we look forward to seeing you guys then. Ka kite, enjoy your morning.